Welcome to Angularjs 2 tutorials. What is a component in Angular 2? Angular 2 component is a collection of HTML template and a class for properties and methods and metadata. This is Angular 2 component and this is collection of HTML template and a class having properties and methods for business logic and a metadata. What is HTML template? HTML template is a layout for our view, and it is having some static data by default if we want, and then it will bind our modal bindings from Angularjs. If you place any data inside Angular modal, we need to bind that into our view, right? So we can do that with this HTML template. And if you want to use any other directives inside this HTML view, we can do that with this HTML template in our component. This is HTML template for component. So this HTML template is basically having view for our component. And next, class. And this class is going to have properties and methods. What properties will do? Properties will hold data. Properties will hold data for our view. If we want to display some data, processed data or any static data, if we want to display dynamically in our view, we need to store that somewhere, right? So that places properties inside a class. Then methods. Why we need methods? To wire up view events. If you clicked on any button inside your view in our HTML template, we can have multiple controls like button, some radio buttons, text boxes like that. So if you want to execute some business logic on button click, so we need to wire up some business logic method to that button click. So we can do that using these methods and buttons. And then to execute business logic, when we clicked on that button, it will trigger some method inside this class. So when that method called, we will already write some code in that method so that will execute our business logic. So this is the purpose of class. So for a component, class is having business logic execution and some data. And what is metadata? So this metadata is providing additional information for our component. Let's take one example. If you want to use our component somewhere, how to use it? What is the selector for your component? Like this metadata will provide us additional information. We can create this metadata in our component using attributes. So we can decorate our class with attributes so that it becomes a component. So let's build some simple component. This is our Angular 2 application development environment. Set up. Yeah. Let's add one employee component. Add TypeScript file. Employee.ts. Name. The name I entered is employee.ts. It created employee.ts file for us. So first thing is create a simple class. Class so employee component. Now this is simple class. This is not a component. So let's Let's decorate this with some attribute at the rate component. This is the decorator or attribute for this class. So this is throwing some error. We'll resolve that later. Now I want to write some data here, like selector. Selector is emp component. So employee component is the selector. Then what is the template? We discussed, right? A component is a collection of HTML template and a class and metadata. This is a class created for our component. Then this is the template creating for our component. So I want to build some HTML for our employee component, h1, then slash h1 employees. Let's make it dynamic. Page title. So this is a variable inside view, so we need to pass that from our class. So let's create one variable inside our class. This is a page title variable. Then give some type. This is string. So this is a property inside our class. We can use this. Let's default it with some data. I want to assign some data, default data, employees page. Okay, so now our class having one property. Then we are done building our class and attribute. So we are getting some error here, right? So component is not found, because that is, we need to import this component from Angular module. Let's import that. Import component from Angular/core. So the error gone now. This is our component, but we cannot use this component outside this class. If you want to use this class or component outside of this file, we need to export it using export keyword. This is our full component. So component is a collection of HTML template and then a class for business logic and data, and third one is metadata. So as of now we created just a selector as part of metadata. Okay, in further videos we will add more here. Okay, this is how to create simple component. Yeah, we are done now. Thank you for watching.